Okay, good morning, gentlemen. Continuing with the Halachot Shabbat from Maaseh Shabbat, Melechet Bishul. So yesterday we introduced today's topic. We said we're going to speak about the four different levels of Bishul, the Dargot in Bishul. And this is a very important principle because when you say cooking, the first question we have to immediately ask is, how do you define cooking? How do you define Bishul? So we said there are four categories. There are four levels. There's cooking a little bit, but it didn't yet reach Machab and Drosai. Then there's cooking until Machab and Drosai. Then, but not fully. So let's say 0 to 1. Let's say Machab and Drosai is 3 out of 10. 0 to 1 or 0 to 2, that's category 1. Then anywhere from 3 to, let's say, fully cooked is 6. Anywhere from 3 to 6, that's category number 2. Number 3 is fully cooked, 6 plus, but as you progress, it gets better, like cholent and other foods, mitzamek v'yafelo. And category number 4 is fully cooked, but mitzamek v'ralo. As you continue to progress, it gets worse.
This isn't an order of like...
No order, it's just 4 categories that we need to introduce to understand halacha when we learn it better. Good? Very good. Okay. Here we go. So now the author continues, it says, Bishul she'eno gamor. If it's something that's cooked, that's not completely cooked. Af ha'mevashel et ha'ma'achal bishul she'eno gamor. Be'inyan she'efshar le'ochlo rak ayedei ha'dachak mitchayev mishum mevashel. So now he's explaining for us what it means ma'achal ben drosai. Even if someone cooked food that isn't fully cooked, but in pressing situations, in dire circumstances, b'sh'at ha'dachak, you're able to still eat it. Mitchayev bishul mevashel. That is still chayav for bishul. So again, yesterday we discussed the minimum shi'ur amount. It needs to be a garugeret, or it needs to be when it's liquid, a water that you can submerge the smallest limb, whatever, which we just said randomly announced. It could be even less. So now he's explaining right now that even if you don't fully cook the item, but it can be eaten in shat hadachak, it's still chayav bishul. Okay, watch your hanaba, good.
Meaning if you cook that, or no, or you eat that.
So now we're gonna explain. So this category of eating in shat hadachak, Masechet Shabbat Daf Kaf Amud Aleph explains, that's what it's called Kema'achal Ben Drosai, eaten at a stage of Ben Drosai. Now, this is a famous discussion we alluded to yesterday. V'nichlaku harishonim imu shelish bishul or machazit bishul. The Rishonim argued if it's considered 1/3 cooked or half cooked. So yesterday we spoke about it briefly, and now we're going to bring the opinions right now. The opinion of Rashi and the Rashba is that it's shalish. It's 1/3 cooked. How do you remember that? Rashi is 3 letters. Resh, Shin, Yud, a third. Okay? In the opinion of the Rambam is that it has to be half cooked. Good? So now the author brings down Ulinan halacha naktinan laikar kedat Rashi v'Rashba shu shlish bishul. The Maran is posek primarily like Rashi, that it's a third bishul, but that's not fully honest, because we really go machmir in both ways, and I'll explain momentarily how we hold, what that means, how we do it. Okay? Now the author continues and says, "V'katav bechazon ish, demash'irna shi'ur zeh bizman habishul, de'im b'chdei levashel temachal kol tzorko nitzrach sha'a, hare machatzita sha'a hu shi'ur chatzi bishul." So this is yesterday we defined. How do you quantify a third or half? So the Chazon Ish gives a principle saying it depends on the time it takes to normally cook. Every dish has its instructions. The gondi takes 8 minutes to boil, 12 minutes to boil. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm just giving an example. The steak takes 14 minutes to cook, to grill, whatever it is. If something takes 1 hour to make, a third of it is shlish, is a third. Half is 30 minutes, meaning it's a time based on how long does it take to fully cook. That's the equation. Divide by a third or divide by half. to define Rashi or the Rambam's opinion. Good?
Seems like the Rambam is more lenient, is more machmir.
So it really, you can't say more machmir or lenient because it depends in what scenario. Because if we're saying that to be chayav, you have to cook kimacha ben drosai, then the Rambam is more mekel. Because that means, let's say it takes 10 minutes to cook this pasta. Okay? 10 minutes. According to the Maran, according to the Rambam, 5 minutes. It's going to be a 5 minutes until it's macha ben drosai. According to Rashi, it's going to be 3.33 minutes. Yeah? Good? Math makes sense?
Yeah.
So according to the Rambam, it's a kula. I can wait until 4.5 minutes until I'm chayav, or until 5 minutes until I'm chayav. So it's not machmi or mekel. There's no correlation to chum. It depends on what you're referencing. According to Rashi, you're chayav sooner, which is a chumrah. But in other scenarios, it becomes a kula. We'll talk about how it flips on both ways. Good? So the Chazon Ish gives a very important principle, very important clause. Chazon Ish gives a very important principle that how do you define, how do you measure, what's the measurement of macha ben drosai? If it takes 60 minutes to cook, 30 minutes is like Rambam, 20 minutes is like Rashi. At the 20-minute mark, you're chayav. Very simple. That way, all of Josh's questions yesterday about the linear, the exponential growth don't apply because it's the Chazon Ish quantified it. It's a time-based system. Yeah.
Is that if it normally takes on to fully cook? Let's say a dish that you eat it raw anyway. You eat it like semi-cooked.
Okay.
Then are you allowed to do that? I don't know.
So we spoke about that yesterday. You're not allowed to, even things that are eaten raw are still capable of becoming cooked. So if I cook an apple, I'm still over the Isur of Shabbat.
As long as you're doing that, no matter how.
So
What's Melachot
even though you
there?
can, good question. Depends on the dish. Sautéed onions, you can eat onions raw, but you have to saute them. You have to fry them for 10 minutes. He's asking, how does macha ben drosai apply to raw foods that can be eaten raw? I have no idea. I'm not sure. But to my understanding, it's based on the Chazon Ish. It's the time it takes for you to cook, whatever the ingredients say. For you to make sautéed onions, it takes 6 minutes in the frying. So that means, according to Rashi, 2 minutes. That's when you're macha ben drosai and you're in trouble. Of bishul, good. Okay. We're defining what it means to cook on Shabbat. Okay, because there's 4 types of elements of ways to cook. There's cooking a little bit that you didn't actually do anything. There's cooking until macha ben drosai. There's cooking fully cooked. Beyond that gets better. There's fully cooked. Beyond that gets worse.
It's also like electricity involved, huh?
Yeah, we're not talking about any of that. We're just talking merely about the cooking. Yeah, talking only about the bishul. Very good point. So that's that. Ve'ad shehamayim magiim liyad soledet bo. So the Chazon Ish clarifies and said, let's say you have to boil eggs. Okay? You want to make boiled eggs. The egg in the pot will take 2 minutes to boil. But the water itself will take 2 minutes to boil also. Is it 4 minutes or is it 2 minutes? You get the question? Whenever I want to boil eggs, I need boiling water. Yeah? It takes 2 minutes for the water to boil, yeah? Then it takes 2 minutes after I drop the egg in there to cook the egg.
Okay.
Is the full time to cook the egg 4 minutes or 2 minutes? So Chazon Ish says don't include the time it takes for the water to boil, for the pan to get hot, whatever that is. Subtract that from when the pan or the water is boiling, how long does it take for it to get cooked? And then it's third or half based on that calculation.
The boiling is a separate issue.
Yeah, you separate you completely. You're just telling us it's not part of the timing when we have to time it. Good? So a few more minutes and I'll wrap up. Shi'ur ikut habishul b'machal u'mashke. Asur min haTorah levashel machal bishul shlish bishulo be'inyan sheyeh efshar leochlo al yedei hadachak. So we just explained that. The halacha is asur from the Torah. It's biblically forbidden to cook something 1/3 of its normal cooking measure. Because that's kimacha ben drosai that we just explained, it can be eaten in strenuous and pressing times. Good? V'im bishulo bishelo ad sheyat soledet bo ach lo igia l'shlish bishulo harizeh patur v'al asur. So now what about I cook something and it becomes boiling hot, the Yad Soledet, that my hand will recoil, but it's not yet cooked a third. It's possible. I can drop an egg in the water, the egg becomes boiling hot, or potato becomes boiling hot, but it's not yet fully cooked. So that's not Isur Sekila, it's not Chayav Sekila, but it's still a problem. You're Patur Val Asur. Patur Val Asur is a concept in Halakha Masachet in Shabbat where it's forbidden, but it doesn't come with the punishment of Sekila.
So is there a banan?
Yeah, we can call it Derabanan. It's a machoke how you quantify, but yeah. Good?
Well, does that mean if you can, let's say you want to heat like a water pad for somebody on Shabbat, does that fall under something?
So it's not the same because the water pad, you're just boiling hot water, pouring boiling hot water into it, no?
Yes.
So the pad is plastic, it's not going to come Yad Soledet, and the water's already boiling, so you're not really doing any boiling there. There's no Bishul.
No problem.
Again, I'm not talking about refuah, I'm not talking about anything else. Assuming it's a regular rubber water pad, correct? It doesn't cook, it's not the first time you're using it. You're boiling from the urn into that. It's no problem with Bishul. You're just keeping it. You're allowed to use that's a hatmanah question. We'll get up to that. Can you use a insulated cup on Shabbat? We'll get up to that. It's a good question. Okay? So let's just wrap up for today. Asur min Torah levashel mayim o shemen ad sheyagiu lechom sheyat soledet bahem. So we said, water or oil forbidden to cook on Shabbat until it gets to Yad Soledet bo. Upachot mishiur zeh mutar lechatchila. Less than that is permitted lechatchila. V'hainu davka keshemanicham b'makom she'einam yochlim lagia bo lechom sheyat soledet bo. We're going to get up to this later on, but if I want to boil water less than Yad Soledet bo, I'm going to define that right now and I'll be done. That's mutar, even lechatchila, as long as it's impossible for it to actually achieve that amount of Yad Soledet bo. Okay? Meaning, I can't put it directly in the plata. I have to put it near the plata so that it gets warm but not boiling hot. You get it? We'll talk about that in a few seifim. It's a very important halakha. We'll get up to it. And last, before I define Yad Soledet bo, מים שנתחממו ועדיין לא הגיעו לחום של 80 מעלות, אסור להוסיף ולחממם מפני שאין זה ודאי שהגיעו לחום של Yad Soledet bo. We'll talk about that momentarily. So very good. So it's the Gemara Melechet Shabbat Daf Mem Amud Bet tells us that this whole concept of ma'achal ben drosai, this partially cooked that is edible in times of need, that only applies to food. Okay? That concept of ma'achal ben drosai only applies to food. It does not apply to water, says the Gemara. Ava ach lagabe mashkim shiuram b'yad soledet. The Gemara says that when it comes to liquids, the measurement of the liquids is Yad Soledet bo. That's the litmus test of when it's asur of sekila or not. Good?
But foods don't have Yad Soledet, or do they? Like, what is Yad Soledet? For food, it just has to.
What?
Foods just have to read ma'achal ben drosai.
A minimum. Then you're chayav sur deoraita.
Does whether or not Yad Soledet or not, does that matter for foods?
No.
Doesn't matter.
No. We just said that right now. But with liquids, the only thing that matters is the temperature. Okay? And now this is a famous discussion. What is the shi'ur of Yad Soledet bo? What is the measurement of Yad Soledet bo? There's so much literature on it. I'll try to read it quickly inside and try to summarize it. So according to over here, in the name of Chazon Ish, they say it's 40 ma'alot Celsius. 40 degrees Celsius, if someone wants to open their phone and convert it, 40 degrees Celsius, what is it, times 9 divided by 5? Might be easier just ask AI what it is.
Jay, Celsius to Fahrenheit.
What? 104. Very good. So according to the Chazon Ish, 40 degrees Celsius is 104 degrees Fahrenheit. That means once water gets to 104, that's when you violated the prohibition of Bishul de Oraita, and that's a problem. The Or Letzion and the Chazon Ovadia, Rav Ovadia agreed to that measurement as well. In the beginning of Rav Shmuel Zalman Auerbach, in the beginning of Shema Shema Kiddush has a footnote that Rabbi Chaim often quotes that says that until 45 degrees is you're safe until 45 degrees Celsius. What's that? 113. Very good. That's according to Rav Shmuel Zalman. It's a big kula. That means you have until 113 degrees Fahrenheit, at which that point becomes Yad Soledet bo.
7 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah. 5 degrees Celsius more, 9 degrees Fahrenheit more. 104 to 113. Good?
How do you actually figure out this measurement on Shabbat? How do you even know?
No,
When is no, right?
I mean, when water starts to boil. When does water boil? That's 212, no? That's 100 degrees Celsius. So as it's starting to bubble, it's not boiling yet, but you have to be mindful.
Oh, this is like half of boiling.
Yeah, it's not even close. Your jacuzzi is like 102, no? What's the jacuzzi temperature? Check the thermostat. I'm saying 102, 101, 102 you can submerge yourself in. 104 is getting, 113 gets a little dangerous. Gets a little overwhelming.
What is basic urine on Shabbat?
Urn is much hotter. That's boiling water. That's 200 degrees. That's 100 degrees Celsius. 200 degrees Fahrenheit. It's much less than the urn. The urn is at the highest level. That's boiling. Okay? And now, the Or Litzon and the Chazor Vadia both write that even though they said 40 degrees Celsius, you should be concerned that it's Yad Soledet. Nevertheless, it's a large spectrum. So until 80 degrees Celsius, between 40 and 80 degrees Celsius, that's when it's still a safek. So why is this important? Because you always go to the Chumrah. When do I care about Yad Soledet at 80 degrees Celsius on the opposite extreme? We're talking about in terms of Shabbat. Rav Ovadia, Chazonish, or Letzion say 40 degrees Celsius. Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach 45 degrees Celsius. At that point, you're chayav in Bishul deoraita. Okay? Why do we care about 80? When would we ever care about 80? We'll wrap up with this. Yain Nesech. You heard of the concept called mevushal wine?
Yeah.
What's mevushal wine? Pasteurized. Once the wine was pasteurized, a non-Jew that touches it won't make it non-kosher anymore. Won't make it yain nesech. So when it comes to yain nesech, you have to go to the opposite extreme. And when you pasteurize your wine, you guys don't have any vineyards, you're not wineries. But when they pasteurize the wine, that's a big machloket. Do I have to go to the extreme of 80 degrees Celsius to that chumrah to be for sure covered or not? Separate discussion. The question is where did they get 40 or 45? So it's Yad Soledet Bo. It's the temperature where your hand will recoil from. The Mishnah Berurah explains it to be the temperature where a child's stomach can burn, also, which is very applicable. Hot, even 40 degrees, 45 degrees Celsius, that can burn a son's child. Shmash Makilchet, I'll wrap up with this. He has a beautiful way to learn it from. He equates it to the shechita of a geese, I think, of a goose. Rabbi Chaim loves it. Right? The Rosh Hashanah learns from the Gemara that we learn that the beit shechita or something like that is Yad Soledet Bo, and the Yad Soledet and the temperature of when you shech the animal is 45. That's how we got to 45. But whatever it is, that's the idea of Yad Soledet Bo. Chazak Baruch, and we'll continue tomorrow. To